Hello there, I'm Dave, and this is the least used lens in my camera bag. It is the Canon 16 to 35, and today I thought we could chat about why I've not been using this Canon 16 to 35 for landscape photography, why it's very rare that I ever shoot at such a wide angle, and how I'm going to change that and start moving forward using this lens a whole lot more. We're up in the Peak District National Park this evening, where I am here to grab a shot at sunset. But I thought I'd come for a little bit of a walk because we're maybe an hour and a half away from sunset, and found myself on top of the Roaches at what's known as Doxy Pool. And I've shot this pool several times, only ever found one shot that works for me, one composition, the one that you're looking at on screen now. But it's from this side that I tried to shoot this pool with a wide angle lens in the past. It's never quite worked for me. It's just too big an expanse. And I suppose that is where my problem with the wide angle lens starts, really. When you start to do landscape photography, something like a 16 to 35 is recommended by everybody. Must have a wide angle lens for landscapes. And why is that? So you can fit in these big vistas, so you can fit more into your scene, cram more into your composition. And actually that is just terrible advice, but that is advice that I kind of followed for far too long, and it led me to get photographs that were pretty crap. The bigger reason to use a wide angle lens is to change relationships, to emphasize something that is a lot closer to you. It's a great tool to completely change the relationship between two or more subjects. If I take a shot like this, this is around 24 millimeters, and it's not got anything to it really. We can move over to a wider angle. We've got a wider shot with a whole lot more in, but what we did was we stayed in exactly the same place. We stayed at exactly the same height. We stayed at exactly the same distance from everything. And overall, the shot hasn't benefited from being wider. All that's happened is that I've just put more into the shot. So it's just the same shot with a different focal length. But let's just see what happens when I change my perspective. That's a very different shot. That's now a shot of the relationship between the heather and the two trees. Before, there was no relationship there. They didn't coexist. The heather was barely noticeable, and the photo was really boring. And that's where the power of this lens really comes into play. Using our focal length in order to see the world differently, rather than in order to put more into our compositions, is absolutely the power of lenses. And for years, I missed out on that. And it's something that I need to rectify, because it is so powerful when it comes to putting compositions together. It's a really beautiful evening. Now I've got to head down to the other end of the Roaches. I've probably got an hour before sunset, and look at the clouds in the sky. Absolutely beautiful. You can see the sun behind those clouds. So that sun is going to dip down through around about the center of your screen there. And by that point, I'm going to be at Roach End Barn. I'm going to start to make my way across the Roaches now, down towards Roach End Barn, and get a shot from down there that I've been planning for a little while. So we've got another example. That beautiful horizon, lovely tree here, a dead tree, and we've got this these foxgloves, like foxglove, growing in the foreground here. And we can step back and take a shot from here at 35 millimeters. And then we can stay in the same spot. I'm going to take that shot at 16 millimeters, and it's no better. In fact, it's probably a worse shot. But by changing our focal length to 16 millimeter and then moving ourselves, we actually change the relationship, in this instance, the foxglove, the tree. We have to stop talking and get to my destination because you see the sun there between those trees. About 40 minutes to get there. Incidentally, this is a shot that some of you might recognise. I took a very long time ago. It's a bit different in summer. Whew. Well, I've got to be honest, that was an intense half an hour. I'd egged it. I was a little bit late, so heading down, I realised there was no chance I was going to be able to set up, talk through the shot and all that kind of stuff. So I just got on with taking the shot. So the shot is done, and it's of this down here, this tree, but it's also about the relationship between this tree and this old barn that's down here and the old barn over at the back there. I had to do that at 24mm, and this kind of explains why shooting at a wide angle all the time is not necessarily a great thing, because I'm just going to blow the highlights for the sake of this shot. I have got an awful lot of sky, boring foreground, and I don't have the shot that I want. So in order to get rid of both of those elements which are taking up, I mean, the sky here is a third of the frame, the foreground is a little more than a third of a frame. So basically my subject matter is small in the frame, and to change that I would have to go further down if I was shooting at 16mm, and that changes the elements, it changes the relationship between the tree in the center and the three trees and the barn. It changes where the tree sits on the horizon by coming further away in order so I could zoom in. I've created an image that meets the criteria that I wanted to deliver, which was my main subject, with the beautiful sunlight bathing it in golden hour and the relationship between these two barns and the trees that sit in this area. And so that's exactly why I struggled with this lens, this 16-35, is why I don't put it on the front a lot, or I didn't. It's because I struggled with creating those relationships. I struggled with that perspective. I struggled with what I was shooting at 16-35. It isn't just about cramming as much as you possibly can into your frame. Taking that shot, one of the things you might notice is that the sun is at the right angle to the camera, and what that led to in the shots initially was sun flare. I don't have a lens hood on, but with a 16mm lens on, the lens hood doesn't work awfully that well, but the light shining in, hitting the optics and creating sun flare across my subject matter, and I didn't want that, so I had to employ what's called the thumb technique or the hand technique. And that's what this video is all about here. And this is going to help you to get rid of sun flares in your landscape photography. From here on the Roaches, I've been Dave, and this has been Let's Click Photography. And I'll see you guys on the next one, or on that one, pretty damn soon. Bye.